different charity appeals and stuff like that, which is great, and God knows it's necessary. But acting, here's the thing about acting, a secret between me and the other 12 people who are in this room, I don't know. But the secret about acting is it's nothing to do with what you're doing. And when you watch those actors, I could mention their names, but I won't because I'll never work again. But those actors that I hate, they're showing you their fabulous angry bit, or their fabulous sad bit, or their fabulous butch bit, whatever it is. They forgot what acting is. Acting is what you want the other person to do. Acting is how you react to the other person and what reaction you want from them. And I don't know, people forget that a lot, and they end up showing you a one-man show of how they can do twitches or crying or funny voices. And I'm desperate to get back on the set and be with other people and interact with them, because that's what makes us human, isn't it? There's questions flying by here. Pineapple on pizza, is that a question? Don't know. My favourite Harry Potter scene you acted in. Oh my God, most embarrassing moment in my career. Can I do Lucius Malfoy voice? There's too many questions. My head hurts. Anyone play Roblox here? Listen, dude, don't use this TikTok live to make friends. This is not a dating app. This is me talking nonsense about myself forever. All right. Wow, I did see you. That's right. Nellie the Gryffindor. I'm a kid. Okay. These aren't really questions. Did anybody watch? Is anybody in England? I don't know how many people are in England, how many people are in America, but we just had an extraordinary thing that went on here, and the Prime Minister's closest best buddy went on television to not apologise for an hour and try and be so boring that nobody looked at him anymore and exposed him for the terrible lying hypocrite that he is. But it didn't work, because we all know. Now, I've got some questions here other people have sent in, and they say things like, selection of questions. Oh, awesome. Selection of questions. Oh, just keep talking, it says. It's no good. Would you consider making a romantic movie? I don't know, is that a job offer? Who offered me that? I've made numbers of romantic movies. They're not very good. I did one. I was making a film years ago called Black Hawk Down. I don't know if you've seen it. It's an army film about the American Rangers in Somalia. And a friend of mine phoned up and he said, hey, Jay, listen, you want to come to, I think, Massachusetts, make a movie? It's beautiful. We got a wonderful Greek-Italian actress. It's a romantic comedy. And I got tons of money. I got a fantastic billionaire who's funding it. And it's a little comedy. And you'll love it. 3 weeks. And it's right in a golf course. And I went, oh, that's a lot of things you just said to me, but what, can I read the script? He went, no. I said, well, no, what do you mean? It's not finished? He goes, no, you can't read it, because if you read it, you won't do it. And I went, well, is it bad? And he went, yeah, it's really bad. And I went, well, I'm not doing it. He goes, no, come on, man. I got a jet ski in my house. And I went, I don't understand these things you're saying to me. And they sent me the script, and I said, I'm not doing it. And then he said, come on, no one's ever going to see it. Well, we made it. People did see it. But what I forgot to tell him before I left Black Hawk Down was that I'd shaved my head, egg bald, to play the part. And it completely slipped my mind, because I'd been like that for months. And I phoned him 2 days before I was meant to arrive on set. And I went, Paul, I'm really sorry, mate. I forgot to tell you. I'm completely bald. And he went, well, you're losing your hair? We can fill it in. And I went, no. I mean, like, I've shaved my head, bald. And he went, dude, it's a romantic comedy. I said, yeah, but you said no one's going to see it. And he goes, really, no one's going to see it if you're bald. So they're going to be a wig. And but they had to order an off-the-shelf wig. And I arrived on a Sunday night to film on Monday morning, and I went to the hotel room, and the man put this wig on me, and it looked really like a placenta. If you don't know what that is, kids, ask your parents. Maybe like a dead cat or roadkill or something. And it was red. And I said to the hair guy, I go, mate, this is red hair that doesn't fit. And he said, no, they're using like a Kodak stock. It's going to come up dark. And I went to the set the next morning, and the director burst out crying and said, oh my God, you got a red wig on. And so those people who are fans of mine will know what film that is, but I certainly won't be giving you the name. But it's a film that, had it been When Harry Met Sally, would have been killed by the red placenta on my head. Got any questions? Can I tell you what Harry Potter is? Wow, I don't even know where to start with that one. Who Harry Potter is, I should say. Okay, we've got another question here. Have I been in a musical? I love singing. I mean, I love singing, and I love musicals. And I can't do it for shit. And it's so annoying. I would kill to be in a musical. And I've been offered them a couple of times. I was offered one in London's West End, the equivalent of Broadway, and I phoned the agent and I said, I don't know who this person is that offered the job, but they've not done the research, and you should tell them they should do a bit before they offer anyone else a job, because I can't sing and the thing will close immediately. And he said, well, they can teach you. And I went, mate, I went to drama school for 3 years, and I was desperate to sing, and I'm just not good enough. But then it was Christmas, and my wife, you might walk in any minute, my wife's grandma was coming to stay, and she said, hey, darling, will you get some tickets for Guys and Dolls, that show you offered? And I said, well, I can't get freebies now. I love a free ticket, I can't lie. So I phoned them up and I said, look, I'm not doing the show, but any chance of some tickets, just to make 110% sure I'm not doing it? And they went, yeah, sure. So I got these tickets, and I went down with my wife and her grandma and her mum. We saw the show, and they gave us this CD, which we put in the car, and we were singing along on the way home, and it stayed in the car for weeks. And I was just singing it, and my kids at the time learnt the words, and I was singing it. And then one day my wife said to me, you're not going to do that, shall we? And I said, what? She goes, the Guys and Dolls, you're not going to do it, are you? And I said, oh, no. She goes, but are you sure? And I went, yeah, 100% sure. I said, yeah. She went, thank Christ for that. Then stop singing those fucking songs. So I won't be doing a musical anytime soon. Very sad. Pardon me for swearing. I know that there's young people on here, but the thing is, young people, despite what your parents tell you, swearing is clever and grown up. When will you make another series on US television? Well, it's funny you should mention it. I was just about to start making something when coronavirus shut us all down. So when coronavirus is no longer shutting us all down, we will see if that carries on. I don't know. Who knows what's going to happen next? There are some strange things going on in my industry. We might all be going off to hotels, and everybody quarantines for weeks, and then we all do tests every day, and then we stay away from each other, even on camera, and they do some weird special effectsy thing to make it look like you're face-to-face with people, although sometimes you've got to be like face-on-face with people, or punching and fighting, and I don't know how we're going to do that. If I was Harry Potter character, which one would I be? I'd be Lucius Malfoy, of course. What do you think? Why the hell would I be anybody else? The wig fits and the costumes are made for me. Although, if I had to come back and be someone else, I probably would be Hermione, because I've got 2 daughters and she's the coolest by far, and I don't think we should be so gender strict as to restrict it to young women. I don't know who watching this knows this, but I actually auditioned for a different part in Harry Potter. I auditioned for Gilderoy Lockhart, and that was awesome. And I went in there and I read the thing, and Chris Columbus, a very sweet director who directed Home Alone and Mrs. Doubtfire, many other fabulous things, he said to me, that was great, man. Would you mind reading a different part? And I went, and I was thinking to myself, how can I play 2 parts? What does he mean? How can I possibly be, I don't know what they're doing. Maybe someone can play 2 parts. And I said, well, he said, Lucius Malfoy. Did you read this whole script? Did you see Lucius Malfoy? And I suddenly realised, oh, wait, he's saying I wouldn't be Gilderoy Lockhart, I'd be Lucius Malfoy. No, I'm not doing that. And I said, well, and he goes, well, you want to take 5 minutes, go outside, look at the script, maybe think about coming back in? And I said, sure. So I went outside and I phoned my agent. That's what actors do. When you're a kid, you phone your parents. When you're older, you phone your agent. And I said, listen, these people want me to go in and audition for a different part. Lucius Malfoy's the bad guy. I was about to go off and play Captain Hook and Peter Pan. I didn't want to play 2 bad guys in children's films. And I said, I'm not going to do it. And he said, well, just go in and audition. You don't have to take the job if they offer you. And I said, yeah, but I'm going to ruin my chances of getting Gilderoy Lockhart. And he said, just go in. I said, no, I'm just going to refuse. And just then the assistant came to the door. And he said, you ready? And I went, yeah, sure, go in. And I went in there, and I was so bitter and angry. He hadn't immediately offered me Gilderoy Lockhart. That's probably why they offered me Lucius Malfoy, because I was speaking through gritted teeth. Anyway, which part would I play? I play Lucius Malfoy again every time. I wouldn't want to be Rafe with no nose and all that makeup all over him, and I wouldn't want to be a fantastic Alan who wore the same costume every day for 10 years whenever he went to work. Michael, way down with all that beard. I thought I had a great gig. I had the very cool hair, the Paris Hilton hair, and fabulous swishy clothes, and a very good time. Although the easiest, the person who had it the easiest on the set was the magnificent actor Toby Jones, because Toby Jones played this guy. Toby Jones played Dobby, and he didn't have to go to makeup. He'd just turn up, sit there, have a sandwich, and say his lines off camera. It was quite hard not to look at him, but it's a very, very easy gig if you ask me. Right, what eyeshadow colour should I do? I'm going to say go bold nowadays. Go big or go home. Maybe multicoloured, maybe tie-dye your eyelids. That's what I do. And don't sue me. Can I say hi, Annabelle? I can, but who is now? Is anybody donating money to the British Red Cross? I see this little button up there. Can you say hello, Emma? I can say all these things, but I don't know how useful it is. Hello, everyone. Salma, do I ship Draco and Harry? See, I love the bad translations. They're my favourite ones. I've got some other questions. Who was I in Harry Potter? I was Mrs. Doubtfire. Thanks for asking. No, I was Rupert. Oh, where are all these questions gone? I've lost myself. Good luck for later. Here's a question. What is my secret talent? So here's a secret. I have no talent. That's why I'm an actor. I can't do anything. I can just pretend to do things. So it's like fighting. You know, I've done a lot of fighting, a lot of stage fighting, a lot of sword fighting, a lot of fighting. But I'm a terrible coward, and I've got like a meringue jaw and nose. It used to break all the time when I did sparring. And so I can do good fake fighting very well, but I can't fight. It's like I can't do anything. You know, I've played surgeons and, I don't know, gangsters and everything else, soldiers. I can't do any of those things. I can just pretend. I was in a film called Abduction years ago with Taylor Lautner, who can actually fight. It was some kind of champion karate kid when he was younger. And I had to train up so that I could look like I could be better than him, be his dad, and teach him how to box and fight. So I went to the world kickboxing champion every day for like 6 weeks. I was filming something, so I go at 4 o'clock in the morning till 6, and then I go to work. And Mark is brilliant. Obviously he's quite good at kickboxing. There's a surprise. And he beasted me. And then at one point he said, "All right, look, you've got everything. You've got it all. You've got all the moves. It all looks good. You just don't look like you want to hurt anyone." I went, "Well, it's stage fighting. Don't worry, that's acting. I'll do that later." He said, "No, I want to see it." And I went, "Well, it's my department. I'll do it when I'm on the set." And he said, No, punch me in the face." And I went, "Well, I'm not going to do that." And he goes, "Punch me in the face as hard as you can." And I went, "Mate, that's just a really bad idea from all sides." He went, "I've got 6 belts out there. Do you think you can punch me anywhere near 100th as hard as I've been punched for decades?" And I went, "Well, that's not the point." He goes, "Punch me in the face." And he put down a little mat, which was 2 meters squared. 2 meters. We all know what 2 meters is nowadays, don't we? And he said, "Punch me in the face." And I went, and he went, "Do it." And I thought, fuck it, I'm going to hit him really hard. I'm just going to hit him off. He's going to regret it. And I swung at him, and he moved out of the way like a snake, like Floyd Mayweather. And I thought, oh, okay. So then I went for a hook, and he wouldn't do it. And then I flurried out. I couldn't hit him. He was standing right in front of me. He just was liquid. He was like Keanu Reeves at the end of The Matrix. So anyway, I can't do anything. What special skills have I got? I'll tell you what skills I've got, actually. We've got a skateboard downstairs. We borrowed off a friend for my daughter to use, and I've been using it. I've got all those skills you develop when you're a rather pathetic teenager who is trying to impress people by those things you can practice by yourself. So I got good at just useless things, origami and skateboarding and darts and magic. A lot of tragic actors are good at magic. I did a lot of close-up magic and stuff. I thought that would be the way to make friends and impress girls. See how well that worked out. What else we got? Thank people for donating. Donate. Lofty gave 30 quid. Oh my God, I can't see the total. People are donating £242 and 50p. God bless you. And TikTok are going to double it. If you've got anything, give anything. Give something. I'm not here to squeeze money out of you, but I am here for the Red Cross. They are amazing. So if you've got anything, throw anything down the back of the sofa in your piggy bank. Throw it at the Red Cross. It will go to somebody who desperately needs it and who doesn't have a phone or a computer and isn't on TikTok. Now, a lot of people asking me to do different accents. What am I, monkey? I'll tell you why I do accents. God, I am sunburned, aren't I? Bloody hell. What an idiot. So, I'm from Liverpool, which you may not be able to tell. I used to talk like that growing up, which was not a very strong accent. But I went to a school where they gave us elocution lessons, like a state school. But they had people come in, and we're all lined up in assembly, going, "But the rain in Spain falls mainly on the plain." What's a plane? My father's car is a Jaguar. Fucking Jaguar. And so I talked like that, and then we moved to London when I was about 11 or 12, 11 and a half. And I went to school, and because I spoke like that, and I had relatives who spoke like that, which is stronger, I thought, I've got no accent. You know, I was talking like that, and I felt like I spoke properly, like the Queen did. And everybody at school took the piss out of me, which is made fun out of me, if you're American. And so I went overnight from talking like that to talking like that. "All right, Mum? Yeah, I'll be back at 4 o'clock. Listen, do me a favour, I can't see my trousers." And I went thick Cockney, full Ray Winston, and or Danny Dyer. And I had that accent, but I also used to go and skateboard. I was a pro skateboarder when I was 15, and I used to go and skateboard under the south bank of the Thames, where skateboarding started in the UK, and I was one of the only white kids, and I had that stupid accent I did down there, the kind of Ali G accent, which, you know, it was an embarrassment, but I would change clothes out of my school uniform, and I would change characters and accents, and I've always done that thing, which I'm not proud of. This is more like therapy, because I'm talking to myself in my bedroom. I've always done that thing of slipping into other people's accents when I'm talking to them. It's turned out I get paid for it, which is mad. But it was mostly, and is mostly, must be insecurity. Must be just, you know, I feel like other people feel more confident, or seem more confident, or seem more confident in their skin. So I adopt accents. So that's why I can do accents. It comes out of a pathetic and desperate need to be liked. I'm still sometimes in a taxi, in the olden days in a taxi, my kids will lean over and go, "Dad, what are you doing? You're not Irish." He knows that. So I apologise for everyone whose accent I mimicked back at them. Where are we now? £267.50. God bless you. Press that donate button. Speak like Lucius. So here's a weird thing. I haven't spoken like Lucius for a very long time. I don't like doing it badly. I haven't got the wig. I tell you, I have got somewhere. Yeah. This little dude. I brought him along. This is one of the few things I've kept from anything. There he is. See those teeth there? That. Very, very sharp. And the first time I used it, so I'll tell you a story. It's funny, isn't it? You might all be thinking, "Oh, don't tell me this." Oh, Christ. But I can't see you, so I'm going to pretend you're going, "Oh, really?" So when I got the job, I shit myself, basically, because in the film were all the greatest actors in the English language. And these are all the other actors in Alan Rickman and Richard Harris at the time, and, you know, Maggie Smith and all these people. These are people I have lined up in the pouring rain to get a return to watch on stage. They're kind of my heroes. And Alan, particularly, is a genius at being sinister. He was just the most fantastic person at creating evil on the screen. And I knew Lucius was meant to be a bit, bit of a dick. So I thought, what am I going to do? How am I going to even approach this? I've got to come up with a voice. Can't do Alan's kind of sonorous, that kind of very slow, languid voice. So I'm going to do something else. I'm going to try and come up with a voice that is like fingernails on a blackboard. I just want to come up with it, but you just hear a syllable and you think, oh, that guy needs punching. So I came up with the most annoying, entitled, aristocratic voice that dripped with contempt and superiority. So I was ready for that. And I went down to the set a few weeks early, because they did the costume and the makeup stuff, and they showed me some sketches, and I went to the costume department, and they showed me a suit, like a business suit for someone in the city or in finance. And I went, sorry, well, I don't understand what this look is. And they went, well, he's a businessman, isn't he? And I said, no, he's an aristocrat, and he wouldn't want to dress like a muggle. I don't want to be difficult. And they went, well, the director's seen these sketches, I said, yeah, but he hates muggles. Why would he dress like a muggle? They said, well, what do you think? I said, well, I was thinking of like fur and velvet and leather and just, things that have been in this family for thousands of years. And they went, well, we haven't got anything like that for you to show anyone. And I went, what about that? And I grabbed a curtain. It's like a curtain on a rail, like a piece of velvet. and put it wrapped around my shoulder. And then I went to the makeup department, and they said, yeah, no, I think your hair's good like that, and just put a bit of powder on you. And I went, what? No, but I was thinking of a wig. And they went, no. Dumbledore's got a wig. And I went, what are we? This is a 1 week film. Surely I get a wig as well. Well, why would you want a wig? The director's seen these sketches. They quite like your hair the way it is. And I went, because I'm playing a wizard. And when am I going to play a wizard ever again? And also, he hates muggles. Why would he get his hair cut like a muggle? And they went, I mean, we haven't got anything for you to show. And I said, what about that? And there was a kind of cheap thing you buy at a garage for Halloween, like white plastic wig thing, almost like drapes. And I put this thing on, which looked like a panto thing, and a velvet. And I went down to the set to let Chris Columbus have a look. He was shooting, as it would, fate would have it, he was shooting a Gilderoy Lockhart scene with the Pixies. Spoiler alert, there were no Pixies. But he was busy. And the guy I was with, the assistant, went, oh, Chris, we've got Jason for a look. And he turned around and he went, where? And I said, it's me. Hey, mate. And he went, hey, why are you, like, is that a curtain? I said, yeah, well, no, yeah, it is, but it would be, I'm thinking, on the day we have like a cape or, fur or velvet or kind of aristocratic garb. He went, uh-huh. And what's on your head? I said, well, no, this is just an indication, but I was thinking long blonde hair, because my son's blonde, and a wig, and he goes, uh-huh. Did you see the sketches? I said, no, I saw the sketches, and obviously I'll do whatever you like, but I was just thinking, he wouldn't want to look like a muggle, and he wouldn't cut his hair like a muggle, And he went, uh-huh. Okay. Is there anything else? And I said, yeah. I was thinking of having a cane. Because, what do you mean, you have a bad leg? And I said, no, just a cane, and my wand will come out of it. And he goes, well, no, because we have a thing with the wands, they just kind of appear. It's like you don't know where they come from, and they just appear. And I went, oh, no, I've seen it, it's fantastic. I was thinking mine could appear from my cane. And he went, I think the toy guys are going to love you, because he's the sweetest man on planet Earth. And he let me do all that stuff. And then I thought, no, I've got the voice. I've got to come up with a voice, because, there's a lot of actors doing some big acting in Harry Potter, and everyone's got 2 or 3 minutes to make an impact. So the first rehearsal, the first day I ever shot, was the last scene of Chamber of Secrets. Me in Dumbledore's office, that was the first thing I shot. And we did a rehearsal, and I spoke in Lucius's voice, and Chris Columbus went kind of pale, and he went, Jason, can I ask you a question? So he goes, I'm American, so I don't really know, but has there ever been anyone in the world, like on Earth, who talks like that? And I went, no, I see what you're saying. It's quite extreme, but I think it'll work. I think it'll be good. And he went, I don't know. And Daniel Radcliffe, God bless him, who was standing there, it was all of 11 or 12, went, I think it's really cool. And he went, really? All right, let's try it. And that is how I ended up with that very extreme voice. And every time we did a take, Chris Columbus would come up and go, okay, we have it. It's wonderful. Let's do one more. Let's just do one more. And Jason, maybe pull back on the voice like, I don't know, 80, 90%. Don't know which ones he used. Can you say sub to Meliolus? I don't even know what language. Is that a language? I don't know. What's my favourite Lorca scene? Oh, that'll be Star Trek. Yeah, no, I brought this to show you. I brought props, because it's just me talking by myself in my bedroom. It feels weird. So I brought props. And people often ask me, what did I get off the set of Harry Potter or other things of Star Trek? And I made the mistake on Harry Potter of not really bringing anything home. So I've got the wand here. I was going to tell you a story about that. We'll come back to that. But I did, on the other hand, on Star Trek, because I took nothing on Harry Potter, I took everything that wasn't nailed down. And it says no photographs all over the set, and I just took the camera out on day one, got a million photographs and videos, and I've got this, dude, here. This. Got my costume, which, I wear to bed, obviously. No, I've never put it on. I don't think I could fit in it. It's a very, very, very tight costume. So it turns out that space is very diverse, and we have every race and sexuality and species there, but everybody fits into very tight costumes. And got my badge. Got my captain's badge. And then of course I've got a most important thing from Star Trek. A knitted Lorca. There he is. Incredible likeness, don't you think? I sat for the artist for months. Yeah, I was going to say, how are we doing on the money? Can't see a thing without my glasses. We're up to £1 million. My God, we're up to £313. Thank you so much. I'm told that Lewis Capaldi did this the other night, who is a genuine pop star, and raised 500 quid. I will be ecstatic if we beat Lewis Capaldi. Not that life is a competition, you know, but I'd still like to beat him. You see that? These teeth there. So I asked for this cane, and we shot a scene. The first time I met Tom Belton, who plays my son Draco, it's a scene that was cut from the film in Borgin and Bots, I think it's called, the place in Nocturne Alley. And the first line I'd say to him, he was touching something, and I went, "Don't touch, Draco." And I rapped him with this. What did I put it down for? He put his hand on something, and I went, "Don't touch," like that. This is really heavy. This is, I mean, that's a solid piece of kit. And these fangs went right into 11-year-old Tom's hand, right through the skin, and drew blood. And we kept the scene going, the way you do. And at the end, Chris Columbus goes, "Cut," and I ran over to Tom. I went, "Tom, mate, I am so sorry. I didn't know how heavy it was." And he went, "It's okay. I think it was good for the scene. It was good." He still doesn't believe that I didn't do it on purpose. What are you going to do? Creation Stories. Tell me about Creation Stories. Who the hell was that? Creation Stories is a mad and brilliant film from Nick Moran, who was also in Harry Potter, who was an actor and writer and director, about Alan McGee, who ran the record company that had Oasis and all those Manchester bands. And I play an out-of-his-mind crack addict in Los Angeles who takes Alan McGee down to a club where we are the only white people and behaves entirely inappropriately in ways that should get us killed. And I had a very good time for 3 days shooting it, and I think he's finishing it in lockdown. I can't wait to see it. I don't know how we're going to see films. Be interested to know, if you're typing answers or comments here, if they open the cinemas next week, who would go? Would you go? Would you go and sit in the cinema if they took out every other seat so, you know, there was no one sitting next to you? Let me see. Bum, 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 bum. No one is answering that question. Okay. No, I would not go. I would go. Me? No. Yeah, no. All right, I'm really not getting a consensus out of this. Do I ship Draco? Is that young people's language? Do I ship Draco? Now, what else have we got? Here, I've got, thank people for donating. Let's go with 500 quid. I can't see who donates. I don't see. If the Harry Potter films were filmed again, would I be in them? Fucking right I would. If anyone else took my part, I would find out where they lived. I would go around and I would stab them in their beds. Mackenzie Crosby gave 100 quid. God bless you, Mackenzie Crosby. Here's a selection of questions, it says, because I can't read it on there. If I could play any classical role, what would it be? Juliet, obviously. Now, I'm a bit too late for Hamlet. The thing about Hamlet is, it's got all the good gags. You know, Shakespeare's a genius, and there's just essential human truths that are beautifully expressed, but I like a gag. I do like making people laugh. I play a lot of serious parts, but that's why I love being in Death of Stalin. There's got so many gags. I'm always trying to put... I was in a series called Awake a couple of years ago about a man whose wife died in a car crash, a detective. And every time he closed his eyes and went to sleep, he was suddenly in the world where his son had died in a car crash and his wife was awake. So he was in these two worlds full of grief. It was a brilliant series, brilliantly written. Not a gag in it. Not in 12 hours. Kills me. Yeah, look, I've got another prop to show you. This is the Death of Stalin crew gift. There was the fabulous Steve Buscemi. That was a film about the death of Stalin. Spoiler, Russian film. So they gave us Russian dolls. Inside there, me, as Zukov. Inside that, wow. Andrea Riseborough. Very, very funny, brilliant chameleon actress. Inside that, Rupert Friend. You'll know him from Homeland. Inside that, Adrian, as Stalin himself. Just hurt my finger. Don't think that's ever going to fit back together again. I just broke it. That was a one-time only appearance. There we are. Who's more money flooding in? £343 and 20p. Who gave the 20p? Hi, Brianna. How are you? In which Hogwarts house are you? What do you mean, which Hogwarts house am I? In Slytherin, where all the cool kids are. The lights go off in Gryffindor when the lights come on in Slytherin. The devil has all the best tunes. All the cool, sexy kids are in Slytherin. Please talk about Alan Rickman. Well, here's the thing about Alan Rickman. I'm not going to make this a memoriam or a wake. He wouldn't want that, Alan. Alan Rickman was hilarious and very, very dry and very, very funny, but also incredibly political. You should know that at a time like this, he did everything he could in his life with his money and resources and time to help people. a mentor to loads of people, but also dry and funny, and he knew that people were scared of him, and he used it to enormous effect. I sat next to him in the makeup chair once, and I always have a speaker. I'm always playing music on every set, everywhere. And I was playing I'm stuck in the 70s, so I'm playing a lot of Motown and Sam Cooke and all this stuff. And I'm not going to do an Alan impression, because it won't go well. Well, I can't do it. I'm not going to do it today. And he said, "What are you playing?" And I said, "Just my music." He went, "It's ancient. It's 30 years old. What are you playing that music for?" I said, "Well, what are you listening to?" He went, "Today, Martha Wainwright." I went, "All right." Anyway, I went home, downloaded Martha Wainwright, because I want to get in with the cool kids, get in with Alan. Didn't see him again for a couple of months. And was sitting next to him, and I went, "No, no chance." Press play. Martha Wainwright comes on the speaker. He goes, "What's that?" I go, "Martha Wainwright." He goes, "That's so last year. Playing something else." Anyway, there he is. Talk about Alan Rickman. Very, very funny man. Also, hilariously bitter about the fact that in all the films, he wore exactly the same costume and wig, whereas I had a selection of kind of couture outfits. Alan was always in the same big black frock. What's my biggest fear? Oh my God, this. Can I say hi, Lily? Oh, I don't know. I'll just drag my kids in here. I don't think they'd like that. Do I still talk to Tom Felton? I do. You know what? I'm going to try and call him. See if he's on. The TikTok thing, we can't split the screen yet. Apparently there is a beta thing, but let's see if I can get Tom on here. And be furious. Just entertain yourselves. There we go. Tom Felton, there he is. There's his phone number. You want his phone number? No, probably best not. Audio, no, we want video. There he is. Can you see that? No, you can see the reflection of the path. That's no good, is it? Oh, yeah. No, answering. It's on the golf course. Well, he's in America. Do I still talk to him? Yeah, I talk to him all the time. He's a lovely boy. He was a lovely boy when he was little. He was even nice when he was a teenager, and he's a very fabulous young man. He's a young man. He's 30-odd years old now. But I do. I talk to him and I adore him, and he calls me Dad, and I call him son. But the thing about the kids, Tom and Daniel and Rupert and Emma and stuff is so when you make these films, when we made Star Trek, for instance, or any of the many other things I've done, there's a huge secretive thing on set. You've got to sign these non-disclosure agreements. You can't tell people what you're wearing. You can't what you have for lunch or anything. But on Harry Potter, it's completely different. You got as many people on the set as you wanted. Chris Columbus set that up, and me and Alan Rickman have this ongoing competition with have as many visitors as you can. So I had 4 or 5 kids every single day that I ever worked over the 10 years, and so would Alan. But he worked more days, so I think he won in the end. But and they would lay on an extra assistant to take the kids round to all the sets, to the menagerie. I mean, they had a zoo there. They had an owlery, Owlfon, whatever the hell it was, a place with lots of owls in it. They had a place with all the dogs, Hagrid's dogs. That was a terrifying place when they all started barking and crapping. And they would go to the special effects workshop and they'd come to the set. And every single time my visitors came to the set, and I know Alan's too, they would get to meet, Daniel, Rupert, Emma, because pretty much all the scenes have one of those kids in, if not a combination. And they would always come up, all those kids, and Tom would say to the visitors, "Hello, you having a nice day? What's been your favourite bit so far? Oh, do you like the books? What's your favourite book?" Unfailingly patient. They must have been bored shitless of doing it. They did it every single day, and they were kids themselves. But they never stopped being polite and humble. I know it's nauseating to hear that, but it's true. There you go. Can I please say happy birthday? It went off. See, I want to say, I would say that. Do I speak French? I do speak French a bit, and Spanish. A little bit. Am I allowed to screen record this, please? No. If I said no, what would happen? Please, will I say, don't boast, Draco. What's my favourite scene? People ask me what my favourite scene is. My favourite scene was my first day. Because that's the one I remember. So I remember everything about it so vividly. So I was doing the scene in Dumbledore's office right at the end of Chamber of Secrets where he dismisses me, and I get the first time I'm looking around the office. It's amazing. Dumbledore's office. They make all the stuff. They make all the kit. They make all the equipment, and I was stunned by all the gadgets. And I remember saying to one of the props guys, I go, the bird. It's incredible. That what type of bird is that over his shoulder? And he went, It's a phoenix. And I went, right, where are they from? And he went, it's a robot. And I went, right, Yeah, no, of course, because it's Phoenix. Yeah, I got that. So it was all so realistic and beautiful. And I was talking to Richard Harris at the side, and I know his son, Jared, who's a fantastic actor who I was at drama school with, so I felt that was an in. So I went up to Richard. I was so nervous. And I said, oh, hello, Richard. I've met you before with Jared, who I was at drama school with, who's an amazing actor. Best actor in our year by far. The best actor I've ever seen. Well, no, you are. I mean, but you I just babbled away, and it was slightly endearing. So he was chatting to me and telling me some hilarious and unrepeatable, extremely scandalous stories about his life in the 60s. And they went, we're ready for you. And so we step onto the set, and I don't want to spoil the magic, but, not only were we shooting the film in the wrong order, doing that scene first, we were actually shooting the last bit of that scene before we shot the beginning of the scene. So we're just going to shoot the bit where I'm standing there, it's a wide shot, and Dumbledore says to me, thank you, Lucius, that'll be all. And I leave. That's it. So we're chatting. We stand up there, and Daniel's there, all of 12, and Rich and I are there, and they're rolling on like 4 cameras, and they go, roll all the cameras. I'm a little bit sweaty. It's my first take on my first day. And they go, action, and it's Richard's line. He looks at me. And I look at him, and I think, ooh, he's taking a pause. Very, very dramatic. And he narrows his eyes, and I think, he's taken a really long pause. And then I realised he's forgotten his line. I've distracted him, or he's distracted himself by telling me all these stories about these starlets in the 60s, and he's only got the one line. He's in his 80s, he's not that well, and it's awkward for him, it's embarrassing. But I'm not going to say anything. It's my first day. I'm not going to say, Richard, it's your line next to you. You say, thank you, Lucius, I'll be all. So I wait, and no one else speaks. And he's still looking at me, narrowing his eyes. And I think, oh, this is sad, it's tragic. And then I feel this rising panic in my stomach, because I think, maybe it's my line. Maybe I've actually got a line, and I didn't look at the script because I was distracted by Richard's stories. It's my first day, it's my first take, and I'm meant to speak, and I don't know what it is. And as the panic rises and the sweat gets to my eyeballs and my teeth, Richard looks at me and he goes, thank you, Lucius, that'll be all. And I thought, you bastard, that's why you're Richard Harris. So I remember that keenly. And then Chris goes, that was great, we had that. Jason, let's do one more. When you go out, you want to shut the door of the office? And I said, yeah, okay. Or can I just wave my hand and it shuts by magic? And he looked over at the special effects guy. There's always a special effects guy with the clipboard. And the guy went, yeah, sure. And I thought, this is going to be awesome. So we do another take, and I leave the room, and I go, thank you, and I wave my arm, and patoom, door shuts by magic. Magic being a fishing line attached to the handle, but whatever. And then he goes, okay, I think we have the wide. And I went, I'm sorry, can we just do one more? He goes, sure. What do you want to do differently? I said, I forgot that Dobby's here somewhere, right? So where's Dobby? And he goes, well, he's wherever you want to look. Where do you want to put him? And I said, well, if I put him there, is that good? And the special effects guy goes, writes it down. And I go, what about if I put him there? And he goes, okay. And I went, no, I think we'll stick with, let's go on the left-hand side. All right. So then action, and he goes, thank you, that'll be all. And I swing my foot like that, and I step down, and I get out, and Chris Clumps goes, cut, sorry, can we wipe the floor where Jason slipped? Can we make sure the floor is dry, please? I said, no, I didn't slip. He goes, what did you do with your leg there? I said, I kicked Dobby down the stairs. And he went, oh, looks at the special effects guy, and the guy's like, and he goes, what did you do when you got down the stairs? You did something with your staff, your cane there? And I said, yeah, when he got up, I bashed him on the head. And he went, okay, and the guy's like, and I was having such a good time. I was like a kid at his own birthday party who had too much cake. I said, I'm sorry, is there any chance we can do one more? And he goes, sure. What do you want to do something different? And I went up and I whispered to him, I said, I don't think Lucius would leave the room being stripped down in front of Harry Potter without saying something back to, restore his pride. He goes, okay, what do you want to say? I said, I don't know. He said, well, let's just do one, see what comes to you, just make it up. I said, should I tell Richard or Daniel? He goes, no, let's just try one. So we all roll all the cameras and all the stuff, and then they go, action, and Richard waits preternaturally long time, and he goes, thank you, Lucius, that'll be all. And I turned to Daniel, 12, and I said, let us hope Mr. Potter will always be around to save the day. And Daniel stepped up, puffed his little chest out, and he went, "Don't worry, I will be." And I left, and I thought, Christ, he's good as well. They're all good. And I remember that feeling so vividly, thinking, I was thinking I could phone some of this in and playing a wizard, but these people are really good, even the kids. So anyway, that was one of my favourite scenes. There were many, many favourite scenes I loved, but I loved that one in particular. Let's hope Mr. Potter, I've heard the story 100 times. Say, no, I'm sorry. But it's true. I remember that day. Many other days I don't remember. I remember the beginning, I remember the end. Right at the end of Potter, we're there doing the big battle of Hogwarts. We're all there in the square. It was rained every day for weeks, and so we sat in a big tent. That's right, we sat in a tent. We sat in a tent and we drank tea from an urn. It was so solid you could stand your spoon up. And Julie Walters told stories about her pig farm, which, I would buy tickets to watch all year round. Prayed for more rain. But eventually we're standing outside in the courtyard, and there is Voldemort. And Voldemort, God bless him, Ralph Fiennes, a genius actor, but it's just weeks and weeks we're watching Ralph strut up and down and do his lines, and it's a big special effects film. It's very slow. I just thought, oh, God, I don't know if I could take this. I've got 3 lines over the next 2 weeks. 3 lines. Oh, I just felt very sorry for myself. And I looked over, and there was Emma Thompson. And she's got an Oscar. There was Maggie Smith. She's got an Oscar. There was Julie Walters. She's got an Oscar. There was Jim Broadbent. He's got an Oscar. And I thought, they haven't got any lines. I've got 3 lines. So I just remember thinking right at the end, don't feel sorry for yourself for having nothing to do. These guys must be going mental. Now, we're at £465. That'll be doubled by TikTok. £465 doubled makes 8 million quid, or 930, which is fantastic. So thank you very, very much. What was my first experience with acting like, it says here? I went to university to study law, and because I didn't know what to do, and I liked arguing. I quite like talking, can you tell? And I was surrounded by some very, very posh people. Some of whom became my friends, but mostly I just was parachuted into a world I'd never seen before. I felt like I was in Jeeves and Wooster. I felt like I was in a sketch. I just never heard accents like that before. Didn't know they really existed, to be honest with you. And of course, being me, I spoke like that within 2 days. I adopted this fake accent. I'm sure they all saw through me for the vulgarian that I was. But anyway, I was being someone I wasn't. Which I think is a lot of people's experience when they start in a new environment, in a workplace or in a school or a college. And I was drinking a lot because that's what everyone was doing around me, probably out of discomfort. And I was wandering around the building where all the freshmen and freshers were and all the clubs, and there was a sign saying, "Can you do a northern accent?" And it was an audition for a play. I'm not even sure I was sober enough to know it was an audition for a play, but there's one thing I knew I could do that wasn't fake, which is a northern accent. And I went in, and leglessly drunk, probably damp of trouser, I read this extremely obscene piece about somebody discovering doesn't matter, it was rude. And they cast me in a play. And so I went to the first rehearsal. I'd never done anything like that before. I didn't know anyone had done anything like that before. And in a rehearsal room, you just discuss truthful things about how people behave. Some people think acting is about stuff like this, interacting with fans or signing things or getting money or glamour, but really acting is about exploring what it's like to be human, what it's like to be frightened or jealous or lonely or angry or in love or out of love or whatever. And you get to walk in other people's shoes, not just their outsides, you get to walk on their insides or try on their insides. And I loved it. I loved being in a room, finding out what it would be like to not be me and to think differently and to feel differently. And I still do. And one of the great privileges of my working life now is that I get to go and shadow people. More fun than the actual work. So just before lockdown happened, I shadowed a heart surgeon for a day, an incredible man, and he took someone's chest open in front of me, and he took their heart out and he repaired it, moved it back again, and it all seemed to be going wrong, like a bad episode of Grey's Anatomy in front of me, and he didn't panic at all. He just fixed a million other things, took 5 different options, he just took a different path and stitched this woman together again, and she was alive. And to watch that, or to go out and hang out with cops in gang areas, or to hang out with priests, or to hang out with criminals. I played a gangster in a series called Brotherhood, and he's based on a real gangster, Whitey Bulger, who's dead now. And we were in Rhode Island which used to have a very big mafia component, and there was a guy called Raymond Patriarchi, who was the head of the East Coast Italian families. I think he was coordinating them all, and he'd gone to jail and died, but his legacy was still there. And eating in an Italian restaurant, been playing this gangster in the show, and someone comes up and goes, "Hey, Mr. Isaacs, there's a guy I'd like to say hello to you in the kitchen." I said, "Well, come out here, please tell him to come out and join us." He goes, "No, he can't come out front. He's a friend of Raymond's. I'd like to say hello to you. Best he stays private." And I went, because I just am an actor. I'm English, to sort of pretend. So, yeah, I think you should come back there. So I got to sit and spend some time with this gentleman. Anyway, one of the things I love about acting is to see what it's like to be other people, to it's like to have their fears, to have their hopes, and it makes me, and to have empathy with the most extraordinary people. So I played people like Lucius, for instance. I'm missing all these questions. I'm so sorry. Did I watch what I do? So yes, no, 3, fish, blue, I've played these people. Sometimes people ask, and there's questions on here as well, do you like playing bad guys? No, I like playing really well-written characters, and no one's bad in their own mind. The worst people you and I can think of are not bad. So anyone who follows me on social media will know that I'm quite political. I'm not a big fan of Trump, not a big fan of Johnson here, and that's a vast understatement, trying to be diplomatic. But I guarantee you, he gets up every morning and looks in the mirror, if there's a mirror big enough, in his tighty whities, paints himself orange and says, "I'm here to be the savior of the white race," or whatever he says to himself. But he doesn't think he's a bad guy. Neither did Hitler. Neither did Genghis Khan. I mean, not to compare Trump with those people, it's too facile. But the fact is that, if they're well written, they think they are doing the right thing. And Lucius is just a dyed-in-the-wool racist. That's what he is. Doesn't like muggles, doesn't believe in, thinks he's superior, thinks he's better than them, and is also, like every other bully, a terrible coward. He's just trying to make Hogwarts great again, and turn the clock back to when people like him ruled the world. And he has an uneasy sense that he's been passed by, and a desperation for status. And we've all met people like that. You see him every day. So Captain Hook, same thing, thinks that his days have gone by. The guy in The Patriot is trying to win the war. He's trying to win the war, and in order to kill people in war, you have to not see them as human. And once you flick that switch and don't see the enemy as human, you can do some very inhuman things to them. And we the Allies, we brought the Second World War, the war with Japan, to an end by dropping a couple of nuclear bombs, because the argument was it would be better in the long run. I don't know who agrees with it. So, but I'm sure that many people thought they were doing the right thing. So I play people who think they're doing the right thing if the script's good enough. And then every now and again, I play someone like, so I'm in Scoob, this new fantastic Warner Brothers animated thing. Every now and again, you throw it out the window and you go, he is a moustache.